Well, obviously the police have worked through a pretty detailed process, and their conclusion is reasonably clear from the press release I've put out today.
That there is no criminal culpability. But what about moral responsibility and ethical responsibility?
When you've got people in your care, you've absolutely got a responsibility to take the utmost care you can of them. And for any transport operator of any scale, that's something that is ever present. We operate in a really challenging environment right across the mountain, both in terms of the ski area itself, but then the logistics of moving 450,000 people over 4 months to and from the ski areas is a big part of that. And sort of going forward,
did you fail in that duty of care? Did you fail in that duty of care to 11-year-old Hannah Francis?
Hannah Francis is no longer with us, and that is the tragedy that we're ensuring or doing our utmost to ensure never happens again.
I'm looking for a straight answer here. I'm asking you a very straight question. Did you fail in your duty of care to that 11-year-old girl?
I think, like I said, we've kind of covered the key result being 4 months of detailed investigation by the police has led to an outcome today where they've said that no charges will be laid. Had that been a different outcome, I'm sure the police result would have been different.
What other investigations are you still subject to?
Well, to the best of our knowledge, the ongoing process that we're working through is an internal one, but obviously NZTA are also looking at it from their point of view. For them, I guess there'll be a bigger picture piece around what this might mean in terms of wider implications for the industry. So that process is ongoing, and obviously there'll be a coronial inquest that follows on from the police report.
What did your internal review tell you?
So we're still pretty deep in the midst of that, and that's a pretty wide-ranging internal process.
So far, what has it told you?
Oh, it's told us a whole range of things. Everything from assessing the risks, ensuring that the training and all those things is up to scratch is absolutely critical.
That your buses were too old. That your buses were too old and the maintenance wasn't good enough.
I guess age is sort of a moot point. The thing that we have to ensure is that the vehicles are fit for purpose. And that's where I guess it's been a really good process working with the other leading operators around New Zealand to say what is the minimum standard that these vehicles need to adhere to. And that minimum standard is well above the legal requirement. It's things like, we've put in place already 6 brand new buses have been delivered which meet. They're all four-wheel drive, they have reversing cameras fitted, all those types of things. Every single vehicle in the fleet has a seatbelt fitted now. Those aren't things that are legally required, but when you're looking at the type of operating environment we're working in, those minimum standards just don't apply.
So that is great that you have done this, but would you concede that your previous fleet was not fit for purpose?
Yeah, well, I mean, in hindsight, it's 2020, isn't it? And you'd look at it and say, now, today, had every single vehicle in that fleet had a seatbelt, the outcome could really, strong possibility it could have been different. And that's the type of thing that we need to make sure those learnings are never lost, but not only by us, but shared by our peers in the industry. So that's really what we're focused on.
So if the fleet wasn't fit for purpose at the time, why did it take the death of a girl to get you moving on this? Why couldn't you see that? Because a lot of other people could see that. People who had formerly worked for you, and people who had travelled on your buses, they could see it. So why couldn't you see it?
Couldn't see what specifically?
That your fleet was not fit for purpose.
Well, the company's obviously operated transport services since 20, 30 years, and as far as I'm aware, this is the first time there's been a serious bus accident of any kind, much less a fatality. So the suggestion that, there was this systemic problem, I don't accept in any regard.